brain's ability to learn. In music, you have scales. Playing through a song one more time even though you've made no mistakes. In Jiu-Jitsu, it's drilling. Continue to practice your free throw even after you've nailed every shot. Competency requires training a skill well past proficiency. Most of us just call it practice. Scientists call this training past the point of improvement overlearning. A recent study in Nature Neuroscience suggests that overlearning improved performance by altering chemicals in the brain that lock in training. Overlearning affects our ability to obtain a new skill. Brains are flexible, they adapt at learning new tasks. If you stop training a skill right after you've acquired it, the brain stays in its ready-to-learn state. If you then train on a second similar task while your brain is still in a plastic state, it overwrites the first skill. It becomes as though you haven't studied the first skill at all. This is called retrograde interference. Subjects who overlearned performed much better on the first trained task than those who didn't overlearn. It turns out that spending as little as 20 extra minutes practicing a task you've already perfected leads to lasting improvements. The benefit is that the second learning doesn't interfere with the first learning. But this benefit comes with a cost. The other part of the story is that you learn that second task less well. The one that didn't overlearn performed better on the second task. But the sum of their improvements on both tasks was below that of the overlearning group. In other words, the overlearning person learned the first task much better, and learned the second task roughly half as well as the others. Those who trained on both tasks learned only the second task. Using the magnetic resonance spectroscopy showed. If you don't overlearn, the brain has higher amounts of glutamate-dominate excitatory. Glutamate is a chemical that makes your brain plastic or more adept at learning. But overlearning decreases the amount of glutamate, and increases the amount of GABA, a chemical that stabilizes the brain. If you overlearn the skill, your brain state changes very rapidly from being plastic to being stable. Which in turn means that your brain has more time to lock in the skill, preventing it from being overwritten. If you're a teacher and you want to make sure that your students get a foundation in a basic topic before moving on to a more complex, related topic, it may make sense to overlearn the first topic before tackling the second with the goal of revisiting the latter at a later date. But do not to put all one's eggs in the basket. Some studies suggest that the benefits gained by overlearning can erode over as little as 4 weeks. It might be that pair overlearning with other learning techniques. Researchers know that spacing out learning, and mixing up topics also helps. Overlearning can add fluency to your processing. It can make you respond faster, can make you respond in cases where you have dual task interference. That is when you're doing something else, you're tired, you're cognitively limited. If you're a surgeon who performs under life or death pressure, or a quarterback who has to land that pass when he's exhausted, overlearning may make sense. For the rest of us, it may be useful but most likely in conjunction with other learning techniques. Thank you.